Shoo, it's cold in here. I look like a hobbit. Hello, everyone. It is Heath in his freezing ass garage, welcoming you to another edition of the Groovy Gold Hunter. And I have got a brand new pay dirt to do. I'm going to start on it tonight. This will probably take me a while, but I'm excited about this one because it comes from a YouTuber, and not just any YouTuber. This guy doesn't do pay dirt, really. I've never seen him do pay dirt, and he sold some, so I grabbed it as soon as I saw it. I'll explain in a minute. Let's go ahead and do the intro so we can get right into this brand new pay dirt box. Not even a bag, it's an entire box. It's big. So we've got this big box that just came in. Let me go get it real quick. Okay. A little heavy. So this is from MBMMLLC. It's an acronym for something that I can't remember. It's MBMMLLC. Have you ever seen his YouTube video? He is I don't know what he is, to be honest with you. He's mining. Okay, his name is Jason, and he's from Mount Baker Mining and Metals LLC. If you ever seen his YouTube channel, he does a lot of stuff for Dan Hurd, and that's how I found his channel, which he is very successful at his channel. He does a lot of smelting, a lot of melting. He has a brand new gold mine, and he started selling his core samples on eBay. Now, I have no clue what's in this box, and I'm not expecting any kind of like, oh, I got 3 grams of gold, nothing like that. This is primarily straight out of his mine, and yeah, he just started selling it on eBay, and it's about 20 pounds. I'll show you the box. So here's the bag, here's the box. I'm seeing this as you guys are seeing this, so I'm really excited about this because I like this kind of stuff. I like this non-typical type of pay dirt, and I don't know how long this video is going to be. Golly, does that bag actually hold that? Wow, that's a strong bag. Oh no, it's ripping. How did he get that in there? Oh wow. Oh, dirty. Ooh, stinky and dirty. As you can see, he put it in a... Ooh, I'm going to have gloves for this. Hold on just a second. I was going to start on it tonight to get an idea of what I got because I couldn't wait to open this box. And now that I've opened it, it's got a lot of stuff in it. A lot of dirt. But yeah, I mean, he even did a YouTube video about him processing this, bagging it, and selling it on eBay. So I'm going to try to open this to get a better look. All right, new plan. We're going to have to rethink this. Okay, so here we are. Now I'm in a little bit more of an open area where I can kind of dig into this a little bit better. I got my bucket right here. Oh, dirt. There we go. So the first thing I'm going to do, put a mask on. This stuff is so dusty, and if there's any quartz dust in there, I do not want to breathe that in. There is the ore right there. So I guess what I'm going to do is start pulling rocks out and just take a look at them. I guess we can start by doing that. I just sat there and watched the video of him presenting this stuff, talking about selling it on eBay, and then him showing how he's got one of these mechanical crushers that's crushing it down to like finer rocks, and then he's got a pulverizer that just completely makes it into dust. Guess who doesn't have that kind of stuff? This guy. I don't have anything like that, so I don't know how in the heck I'm going to do this stuff. I really don't. So yeah, let's figure it out. Basically, all I'm going to do is just pull out a rock, try to get as much dirt off of it as I can, dip it in the water, and kind of reveal it to see what I've got. What I'm looking at, to me, is a big old fat piece of quartz. I don't have enough light, so I think I'm going to take this back to my panning station, and then let's see if we can get a better look at this stuff over there. But yeah, for now, I'm just going to pull some rocks out, wet it, see what it looks like, and go from there. This is the first rock that I just pulled out, and now that I have some better light, I can look at the rock a little bit better. Again, I don't really see anything right off the bat, but yeah, you can see the quartz, so I'm just going to keep grabbing a rock. You can see how dirty these things are. What I might do is just throw these in a bucket and let them sit overnight and see if I can get as much of the dirt as I can off of these, and then look at them tomorrow. So yeah, like these two rocks, I'm just gonna dump in here, let them sit for a while, and I'm just gonna keep pulling rocks out and doing the same thing to them. Look at that big old piece of quartz. Isn't that awesome? Another big chunk of quartz right there. Welcome back, guys. It is like 4 days later from the first time I talked about this stuff. So I'm going to show you this mess that I've made. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I don't know how I'm going to do this stuff. And I'll give you a couple of examples. So this is all the big stuff right here. I've looked in each piece of this. Don't really see any gold on the outside of it. So it's obviously going to have to be crushed. That's what I've got to crush that with. So this is not going to work. This is all the smaller stuff I have yet to look at. This right here is all of the stuff that I think is no good rock, like no quartz in it, just plain old rock. I ain't throwing it away because I don't know enough about this to just toss that without double, triple checking. So like this right here is all the smaller stuff that I've yet to even look at. So I don't know if I should just not look at it and just crush it, because I also have that entire bowl of, what is that? That is plus 10 right there. I screened it down to plus 10, and this is all of the minus 10. Basically mud and small rocks. These right here are possibilities of gold. Now this one, I know there's gold in, and I don't know if you can see it with this camera. You probably won't be able to see it. Let me shine a light on it. But there are a couple pieces of gold in that right here in this area, and it looks like that they cut it to reveal the gold. When I get done in editing, I'll look to see if this is visible, but it's in there. I can see it. And then these pieces right here have what I think is potential gold. It looked like there was gold in there, but I'm not 100% sure. So far, this is the only one I know for sure that's got gold in it. That's where I'm at. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. The minus stuff, the big stuff, the stuff I still haven't looked at yet. All of that I haven't looked at yet. This stuff, which I have no clue about what I'm going to do. Just crush it, I'm sure. This is going to take me a long time. I got online looking for rock crushers. Oh, and I broke my glasses. Slept on them last night. Another thing about this stuff, if you plan on getting some, the dust. The dustiest of all dusty stuff I've ever dealt with. That's why this stuff right here, I had to wet it down, because the dust, every time I was trying to classify it to something, the dust would just get everywhere. And I had to eventually go outside to do it because it was too much in here. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm in kind of like a limbo right now, because I don't know what I can do from here on out. Like I said, this is just plus 10 stuff, and it's a ton of it, and I gotta crush it with this little bitty thing right here. That's going to take forever, and that's going to be painful. These big things right here, I don't know what I'm going to do with. Obviously they need to be crushed to get the gold out if there's gold in there, but I don't know, without having an actual rock crusher that I can just grind it up myself. I need a machine. Hand crushing is not going to work. That's where I'm at right now. As soon as I can come up with some kind of game plan, yeah, I'll get back and let you know where I'm at. This is different, and I like different, and I'm okay with the challenge. So yeah, that's all I can tell you right now. I'll get it in a microscope and let you see some of them. I'm going to take those rocks that I saw gold so I can show you what I was talking about. I will get back to you once I get to a point where I think you guys will be interested.
All right, guys, welcome to my room, and we're going to take a look at some of these rocks. And I'm going to start with the one that I know has gold in it. This is really cool. So it looks like this one has been cut. So let's scroll around. Look at that. That's cool. You can clearly see, what is that, 1, 2, 3 pieces of gold in that one. And then scrolling down here, I don't know what that metal is, because I've been panning some stuff out and I've seen them little metal shards in my pan. I don't know what that is. There's a little piece right there. Absolutely 100% gold. So that's the rock that I know has gold in it. I'm looking around on this area. That's that rock. So let's go to another rock, because these are the ones I was questioning whether there was a piece of gold in here or not. So some of this stuff looks questionable. Like I think there might be a piece of gold in there, but not 100% sure. So there, right there. I don't know if you can see those little bitty cracks and crevices, but that looks like gold in that. Let me zoom in on it. Alright, so let's look at that again. I probably will lose that spot. So like that right there in the middle looks like it could potentially have gold. Oh, right here. You see that area? That looks like it's gold. Let's get over here on this part and look at this. It's hard to focus in on these rocks because they're rigid. Let me zoom out, see if we can get a better look. Alright, right there. I wonder if that right there in the middle. Let me zoom in right there. Let me try to get it in the middle. That looks like a piece of gold. Now look at the one beside it. I don't know if I can point to it. Right to the left of that piece of gold, it's got kind of a greenish looking rock. Could that be pyrite? I don't know. So anyway, I'm not going to spend hours on one rock. I'm just going to skim over the rest of this. It's really hard to tell, especially when your rock is yellow. There's all kinds of different areas. So like, see this rock right here where it's got all of this brown, and see all that gold looking stuff? It looks like that could potentially be gold. Look at that right there. See that? That looks like it's holding gold. But then if you look, okay, I'm going to keep scrolling until I get that in the middle. See that green right there dead in the middle? It's like a little green piece of stone or metal. I don't know what it is. I've been seeing a lot of that. But like, look at the stuff around it. It looks like gold. Like that piece right there in the middle. Pretty big piece surrounded by that yellow. It looks like that could be gold. So yeah, these rocks are really fascinating just to look at. Here's a big rock right here. Now this looks like nothing but just no good rock. This is the stuff he was talking about trashing. As I looked at it, I started to see all this oxidization. But yeah, like this whole area right here looks like a good place that you could potentially find gold, even though I don't see any offhand. It's a lot to sit there and go through each and every rock like this. I have a magnifying glass that I've been using as well, but I can't get this kind of close up on these rocks like I can with this. You know, I'm not going to pull 10,000 rocks, put them on this little microscope thing that I have on my computer and go through every single piece. But yeah, I mean, these are all the rocks that I've been looking at. These were just some of the samples that I pulled out. Looking at it with this microscope, it doesn't look like that there is any there, but at the same time, like I probably saw that little area right there and thought that could potentially be gold, and it could potentially be gold. Not a lot, just probably a itty bitty little speck. Okay guys, so I have sort of kind of a game plan, but not really. So I just looked through the rest of those rocks, saw some potential gold thingies, possible gold in it, saw some of it just looked like rock. So this is what I'm going to do. I've got some fresh water that I'm going to pour into my bin, and what I did was I crushed 4 rocks that I thought could potentially hold gold. So this is it right here. This is that little bit that I crushed. So what I'm going to do is put you on the overhead. We'll pan this out and see what happens. There's the quartz rock that I crushed down. And like I said, it was only 3. Maybe, no, it was 4 really small rocks, about the size of these rocks. Yeah, it took me 4 or 5 hammers to get it down just to 30 minus. So I'm just going to dump it all in here because I want to see if there's any gold. Now, I'm not expecting anything out of this, for being honest. Let's start panning and see what happens. Now, when I was watching his video on how to process this stuff, he was talking about how you want to pulverize it into nothing but dust. Get it crushed down to reveal the gold. Now, I know one thing that I will see is the metal shavings from that thing that I'm constantly using. Oh, wait a minute. Looking at this, it looks like it's gold, but it's reflecting off the light, and gold doesn't reflect off the light. All right, let me get my little eyepiece so I can get a really good look at this stuff. And you can't see it because it's so damn small. I can, but hell, even I can barely see it. So I'm going to dip my head down here and take a look at this stuff. Huh. It looks like gold. There's a piece right there where the tip of my finger is, and it looks like it's a potential piece of gold. There it is right there. But that one's not reflecting off the light. There was another piece that was. That is not. So I'm going to suck that up. Now this is going to be my snuffer bottle for all of this stuff. So I won't be able to use this for anything else for months, because it's how long it's going to take me. So yeah, that's what I got out of those 3 little rocks. One possible microscopic piece of gold. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1 scoop of this. Now, like I told you earlier, I classified this down to -20. Here's pretty much the remains of everything that was in that. I don't even know what you would call it. It's not pay dirt. It's, you know, gold ore scraps, you know, the mud and all of that. Look at that, the color of the water. All right, so I stratified it real good. I'm still going to be very careful with this stuff. All right. So lots of tapping. Let me tap this way a little bit, and then I'm going to slowly start to bring it back. I can see black sands, and I can see all kinds of stuff glittering. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I've got in here so far. But first, I'm going to squirt the dirt out. Yeah, so like some of it looks gold. Some of it looks like silver or some other type of metal. It's starting to float, so let me get some jet dry in there. So obviously, these are all of the heavies that was in that 20- stuff. I think I see a piece of gold at the very back of the pan. Learning as I go, guys. Learning as I go, because I'm clueless. I do see some gold in here. I see gold in that little mix. Very little amount. Okay, I'm just going to show you this because you're going to see what I'm seeing. See all that in that pan? You can see the gold specks with the silver specks. Yeah, this is going to be a tough video to do for you guys. All right, so here's this stuff. I'm going to pan it back. Same kind of stuff. A lot of metallic looking material in there. I don't see any yellow. Maybe 1 or 2 itty bitty pieces way here in the back. So I'm going to suck those up. But the rest of this stuff is just metal. Maybe it's silver. I know he said he had some silver in his mine as well. Insert other silver looking metal. So yeah, that's what all that stuff is. And you know, like I said, I'm going to have to do that somehow. I'm figuring this out as I go along. So I've done a couple of pans. Did get a small piece of gold, but nothing to film. You know, it's not that big of a deal. You probably couldn't even see it on the camera anyway. So yeah, all I've been doing is just continuously panning out that 20 mesh material. But every single pan I've been getting, it still has all that silver in there, whatever that is, whatever that metallic material is, and it will not separate from the gold. So I've been doing kind of a combination of sucking it both up and trying to separate what silver looking material I can from the gold. So this is the end of this pan. I've still got probably 3 or 4 pans left in this stuff, and yeah, I've been seeing just a tad bit of gold in each one. Nothing to write home about, by no means any pickers or nothing like that, not even close. Let's see what kind of stuff we get out of this one. Another thing I've been getting some of, not a lot, but some, is pyrite. So I'm going to show you that, and all of that right there minus a couple of pieces is gold. So that's what I've been sucking up. There's about 2 or 3, 4 pieces of those gold specks, and that could very well be pyrite as well. I don't know 100% if that's gold or not because they're so small. That's all I'm doing for now. If anything significant comes up, I will let you see it. It is the 29th, Friday the 29th of December. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. No telling when you will see this video. It might be next Christmas when you see this video. I've really just been at a standstill. I don't know what to do with this stuff for 2 reasons. One, and I've showed you this before, but this is the only rock crusher I have. It's just not going to crush all of this stuff. In this bag, and I think this is my next step, this is a bag of ore that I looked into and saw questionable whether it's gold or not. That's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes it looked like it was gold. Sometimes it looked like it was like a rainbow color. It could be chalcopyrite. It could be some other type of metal. I don't know. So all I did was just look at a bunch of little bitty rocks at this size right here. And just kind of, yeah, looked at them just to see what looked like it could have gold in it and what didn't. What I thought about doing today is to crush this with my rock crusher. Second part to that is I've been getting online trying to find a rock crusher. I'm looking for one of those that you can connect to or attach to an angle grinder. They're way overpriced. I mean, $400 was the cheapest one I could find, and I'm not paying $400 to crush this little bit of rock right here. So I looked on YouTube and saw ways to make it. So I thought, well, maybe I should do that. The problem is I don't have all the equipment for it. So I got on eBay and I bought this. This is nothing more than a 6-inch piece of steel, round piece of steel. It's 2 inches wide, 6 inches around. That seems to be the going size. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. I don't know. I thought I had an angle grinder, and turns out I don't. I just have a cutter. It's not the same thing as an angle grinder. So I'm at a loss is basically what I'm saying. I can't even explain it to you. That's how far off I am on this. I was going to go to Home Depot and or Lowe's today to find an angle grinder, number one, and number two, to find the parts that I would need to attempt to make this. So that's where I'm at right now as far as that's concerned. Bottom line is I've just been in a standstill. I've even got other pay dirts that I want to review, but for right now I'm not going to, just because I'm stuck on this stuff. I don't want to move on to the next thing until I get this done. I've basically been teaching myself geology for the past 2 weeks, trying to figure out the whole geology of gold ore and where it's normally found. I know quartz, obviously, but I didn't realize that the more iron oxides that you find in rocks and sulfites that you find in rocks, the more likely you are to find gold. So my brain has basically been in overload. I need to kind of take a step back and just focus on one thing at a time. That's what I'm going to focus on now. All I'm focusing on is this little bitty bag of rocks. I'm going to crush them with this, and I'm going to pan it just to see what kind of material's in there. $400 really isn't that much when you think about it, especially after you crush that little bitty, I can't even talk, especially when you crush that little bitty amount of rocks. That wore me out. So I crushed it. It's down to 40. Pan down, let you see it. Try not to let all that dust get in me. I had to put a mask on, but every time I put a mask on, my glasses fog up. So there it is right here. So yeah, we're just going to pan that and see what comes of it. See if my knowledge of looking at rocks comes out to be a good thing or a bad thing. If I don't get any gold out of all those rocks that I thought I saw gold in, safe to say that I don't see any gold mining in my future. So let's put you on the overhead shot and then we'll pan this out and see what happens. It's a lot of banging and banging just to get that much. That's all I got out of that. Let me get my pan. Normally when I'm crushing rocks with that little bitty thing, it's leftover rocks and pay dirt, so it's never a whole lot. Yeah, I think investing in a rock crusher will be a good investment for me. I just didn't want to spend $400 for something that does nothing more than just crush rocks. It's ridiculous. Oh, I had to get me a drink. Like I said, I looked at each and every single one of those rocks. Out of this pile of rocks right here, that bag that I just crushed were the ones that I think I saw some gold. The other issue I hate about having that rock crusher is when I'm crushing those rocks, bits and pieces of the steel from that rock crusher, it gets into the pan as well. So you'll see a ton of little metal shards in there that have nothing to do with what's in the rock. So I don't know what I'm panning back. I think these are the sulfides that were in that rock because they are coming back and the gold is staying forward, if this is gold. So everything that looks yellow, I'm going to push over here. And then I'm going to squirt all that silver stuff out. Well, he has a hard name to remember. Here at MLBBLBMEBBCBLHIJKLMNOP, he seems like a great guy. I've never met him, obviously, but he seems like such a cool dude, and he seems very knowledgeable. So when he had this on sale on eBay, I didn't even question it. I just jumped right on it. Can you see that right there? Some of that's definitely gold, but I'm going to go ahead and suck that up. So I have 2 snuffer bottles primarily for just this pay dirt. I've got the questionable stuff in this one, and then I've got everything that I know had at least some gold in it in this one. So yeah, it's just going to be collecting and collecting and collecting, But yeah, if any of you, well, by the time you all see this video, I will either bought one or I would have made a rock crusher. So I was going to say, if any of you know where I could find a good rock crusher that's not $700, let me know in the comments. I already have one because this video won't go out until I finish crushing all this rock. So yeah, as I pan this back, I don't know if my camera's doing a good job catching all of this silver metal material, but there is a lot of it. And I mean, that's just mostly sulfites. Is that the right word? Sulfites? So to give you a better view of it, there's all the silver material, and then a couple of pieces that could potentially be gold. Some of it I know is pyrite because of the way it's shining off the light. No gold, not in that little batch. It's all silver stuff. So this will be my last pan, and then I'll be done with that. And then I'll be back to square one. How am I going to deal with the rest of this stuff? And I can already tell you I hate myself for not doing what I should have done. I'm so stupid. So to answer your question that you probably had earlier when I was showing you all those metal shards in my pan, and you're going, why didn't you use the magnet to get it out? Why didn't I? It's a great question. I don't have a right answer for you because it didn't even cross my mind until now. I'm an idiot. I'm so focused on the gold and so focused on separating gold from other metals. I've got it in my head that there are no magnetic material in here. Like right now, I'm putting that over it and there is no magnetic material. Now there is gold down here. Very, very fine, but it's definitely gold. Like all this stuff right through here, that's all silver metals, but I do see the gold. There's a piece of gold, there's a piece of gold. But if you can see right down this little line, that is mostly gold and or gold colored pyrite. I've been filming a little bit at a time and showing you what I've looked at so far with this stuff. I had to build a rock crusher, and here it is. And I've already probably put a video out on me building this rock crusher. Kind of did both of them simultaneously. I just got finished with this build. I've already tested it. So far, I've been able to crush some rock. Everything that I'm crushing is from Mount Baker Mining. I did a very small batch of rocks, and there they are. Now, I did pan a couple after I crushed them because I wanted to see how fine this thing crushed the rocks. So far, I'm really happy because 90% of that is just dust. The other 10% is less than 40 mesh. If you look into what I've got right now, you can see some bigger rocks in there, but they're very, very small still. So what I did was I did like, I don't know, a couple handfuls, put it through here, crushed it, dumped it in here, and then I classified it with my 40 mesh classifier, and then I panned the plus 40 mesh stuff out, and then the minus 40 mesh stuff out, and panned it back to see if I was getting anything. And I got some very, very, very small little bitty pieces of potential gold, but not a lot. I went ahead and threw it in my snuffer bottle. That is where I'm at. This is where I'm at right now. I'm just going to continue to crush this stuff right here. And this is going to take me a while. After I crush all this, I'm going to have it obviously in here. And once I get all this crushed, I will take it over there to my panning station and we will classify it, and then we'll pan that stuff out and we'll see what we're getting out of this material. I still got all of these big rocks to do, so yeah, I'm gonna have to start taking a hammer and start chipping away and chiseling this stuff down so I can get it into that rock crusher and start crushing that as well. I'm not an expert on this stuff, so I'm not throwing that stuff away because who knows what that is, but for right now I'm not touching that stuff. I've talked enough. It's time to get to work. All right guys, so I am done crushing all of that stuff that was in that pan. That was a lot of material, and I'm going to show you the end results right here. I'm going to pan down, and there it is. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I can't do this on all of it because it's pretty deep, but I do want to run my magnet. I think some of these shards that I'm going to be picking up is from the chain that is crushing the rocks up, but there's also material in there that's got metal in there as well. Some of these rocks had magnetic material in there as well. All right, so this is what I did, and I stopped at this point because I really don't think I need to classify this any more than I already did. This right here, this bucket I'm going to pan down, that's about a third full, and that is nothing but -40 material, and I'm going to leave that as it is, and I'll pan that out. This right here is my 20 mesh material, and this is my 10 mesh. So this is what I had left over. These are the biggest rocks that I found in that entire thing that I crushed. All of that right there. So I think what I'm going to do is once I start crushing these other rocks, I'll just add that to it just to make sure there's no gold in there. Now the rocks that I did, I never saw any indication of gold in them when I looked at them. Now the little bitty rocks, like the super small rocks that I did first, I didn't look at each and every one of them because it was an entire, bowl full of them. It would have taken me weeks to go through each and every one of those. So I just crushed them all. The same thing with that inch material that I crushed that was in that pan that you saw. I just stuck every bit of it in and just crushed it. Rocks, no rocks, didn't matter if it was quartz or not. I just crushed it all. We're going to pan all this stuff out, and we're going to see what we get out of this. And then we'll move on to that other stuff next after this is done. I just want to see what kind of material I'm dealing with and what I got out of all that I crushed. Let's get to panning. I'm going to work this stuff a little bit first because I know this is going to take forever. Now, full disclosure on this stuff that I bought from him, this is not a pay dirt review per se, even though I'm treating it like it's a pay dirt review because, he was just selling this stuff, 25 pounds of ore from his claim. He didn't guarantee any amount of gold because how can you? It was $100, $100 even. I'm still going to see how much gold I get out of it, see what kind of value I got out of it, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, there was no, this is guaranteed to have X amount of gold. Let's pan this, see what happens. I seriously doubt we're going to be seeing any kind of flake or nugget coming out of this stuff. So I'm going to tap this, and as I expected, not a whole lot of anything. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, just like 20 little dots of yellow stuff. That's how I'm going to approach it. It's the only way I know how to. It's one of those deals where I'm just going to have to put a lot of dirt in, stratify the crap out of it, just sit there and pan it until it gets to that little shiny silver / gold looking stuff. I don't know any other way of doing it. So after I pan this, I will probably just show you the ends of each pan that I do, and that will be that. Now, before I pan that back, I'm going to do this because look at all that metal material. Let's try that again. I hope you guys can see what I'm seeing here. I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is and that is, but it's got a gold tint to it. Goldish, if you will. There's two pieces in here. It's pretty decent size that I want to get a better look at. It kind of looks like gold. It might be gold. Where my finger's pointing, there's two big chunks of potential gold, and then there's like 8 or 9 real tiny little minute pieces of gold right behind it. Alright, so I sucked up all that gold, hopefully, potential. Alright, so I'm going to keep doing that, and when I get done with it, I will show you the results. I see some gold. So what I have is right here on this back edge, I've got a combination of gold and pyrite. I'm going to try to show you that. I hope you guys can see it. It's just so small, it's hard to see.
another day and I am still grinding rocks as we speak. I haven't been recording any of it because it gets extremely loud. I just finished a whole batch of rocks. I had to crush a lot of them down. They wouldn't fit in the little hole. And my first breakdown was this pipe, which I knew it was going to eventually, but I grabbed a hold of this trying to shake out a rock that got caught up in here, and I broke this off. So I had to go get some more JB Weld and redo it. It's probably going to continue to do it because it's JB Weld. This thing was full of rocks and now it is not. I do have, if I can find them, oh, here they are. I do have this little bitty amount left from that batch that was over here. I've got to crush them down a little bit more, but then I've got all these still, and I've got all those still, and then I've got my gold bearing rocks that I know has gold in it. So let's crush some rocks real quick, and then we'll get to panning some of it. This thing so far has done well. Two issues that I've had. One of them was this, like I just showed you. The other one, I'm going to give you a close-up, is this. This bracket right here that I put these chains on has bent. Crazy bent. It's not even like a small bend. It's like warped it. So I'm going to have to straighten that back out. This has been a task, let me tell you. You don't want to put big rocks in there anyway, because if you do, it's going to really damage the rock crusher that I made. So it's better anyway just to break these down as small as I can get them. And usually I'm able to just give it one good whack and it'll crack it in a bunch of pieces. So that's what I've been having to do. If I didn't have this thing completely and totally sealed, there would be smoke blowing out from every end of this thing. Now, what I decided to do, I showed you guys those gray rocks that I don't think has got any gold in it at all. I just went ahead and crushed them anyway. I would hate to miss some gold because I thought that it wouldn't have gold in it. So I'm going to put this thing back together. I'm just going to go ahead and rotate during the whole thing. One thing that I am worried about though with this rock crusher is the wear and tear. I'm already seeing wear and tear like I was showing you on those chain links, which is not as big as a deal because I can always just make a new bracket, make a new chain link. I've got chain link that I can use. So the next time I do this, and this is all trial by error anyway because it's the first time I've ever done this, so I expected to have these kind of issues. This is my exit area, and I use this pipe right here as the exit. This bucket, any gallon bucket that I have, it has a top. I drilled a hole in it, and then I just stick this on top. And this is just a little makeshift area for right now. And then I stick it in there like that. So when I start crushing rock, it will catch it all in the bucket. So you're not going to be able to hear me very well because I've got this on, but you won't be able to hear me anyway because I'm fixing to start running this thing. Make sure that that thing went all the way through. And I'll just feed one end at a time. That was quartz, very easy to crush. Ah, get in there. Oh, there it went. I don't know if you can see it, but it's starting to smoke out of this side. So what I'll do is I'll do maybe, I don't know, 20 or 30 rocks. I'm going to finish this stuff and then we'll get over there and we'll start panning this stuff in a minute. All right, guys, so I'm back over here at the panning station area and I'm going to show you how much I did. That's probably about 1/4 of a gallon, but it's a lot. So what I'm going to do now is the same I've been doing with the other stuff. I'm going to classify it into a 40 mesh and then I'll just do plus and minus 40. All right, so this is the 20 mesh. That's everything that's 20. Whatever's bigger than 20 mesh, I will classify it again, and that's what the biggest stuff is. Now this stuff that's in this bowl right here, I will put that back in my rock crusher and I'll recrush this. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of this. The
see if I get lucky and missed a piece of gold. Not a single piece. So struck out on that front. Tap this really good, bring it back. I can see the pyrite, tons of pyrite in this one. There is a little bit of gold. It's only like 2 or 3 pieces, and they're less than 100 mesh. They're just super small, extremely hard to see. Right up in that corner, there's 4 super small yellow specks. That's all I've been doing. Anything that looks even remotely like gold, I suck it up in the snuffer bottle. Right now, out of everything that I panned, I might have 5/100ths of a gram. Today is today's no longer January. Today's February the 2nd. And I'm still doing this Mount Baker Mining and Metals gold ore. And I'll show you where I'm at right now. 2 things I want to show you. First of all, this is what I've got left. This batch right here, these used to be giant rocks that I have busted down to smaller rocks. These are the ones that are still too big to fit in my rock crusher. This is the mess that I have made crushing these rocks. It's everywhere. This is my potential, maybe this has got gold in it. Some of it actually does have gold in it. And then this is all of the rock that is so hard it's tearing up my gold crusher, so I pulled that stuff out. All right guys, I am done with that batch, and I didn't get hardly any that you could even see. So this is what I'm going to do. I don't even know how far in I am in on this. I would say more than halfway done with this stuff. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna dump it in my pan. Actually, let's do it right here. Let's put it in this. So I got it all out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap it. I'm going to get some of this water out, but I'm going to do it in my pan so I don't lose anything. So I got it all right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's in that corner, but there is all the gold I've gotten so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to pan some of the unnecessary stuff out and clean it up a little bit. So what I'm doing, anything that's got dust in it and non-gold, I'm going to dump it into my green pan and then double check, make sure none of that was gold. But just try to clean it up a little bit. Tap all that together. That's what my point was, to get this as close as I could together so you could see the gold. That's how much gold I've gotten out of this so far. Buying 25 pounds of rock ore, and so far that's all I've gotten. And look what I did. That's a different pay dirt company that sells rock ore, gold ore. This is from Nevada. So I've got that to do next. As soon as I made my rock crusher, I got super excited and started buying ore. It is another day and I am still grinding and panning this stuff. I'm almost done. This is all I've got left to grind down. This is all the stuff that I think I seen gold in. So I showed you yesterday how much I've gotten out of this, and yeah, definitely not something that you can buy and say, hey, maybe I have a chance of getting a big fat gold nugget or nothing like that, because the gold in this ore is super duper fine and it's not plentiful, if that's a good word to use. There's not a whole lot of gold that I've found so far in it. I showed you yesterday. I cleaned it up a little bit yesterday, but I don't think I'll even get a half a gram out of this entire thing. Even with this stuff that I think does have gold in it, the gold that I've seen is very, very small, very hard to see. I will show you some in pans if there's any gold in it, but it's been the same pretty much throughout the entire panning process of this stuff. Every blue moon I would get a little chunk of gold, maybe a 40 mesh, 30 mesh piece of gold. I think I've gotten one, but the rest of it's been 100 mesh, 200 mesh, just super, super fine gold. All right, guys, we are back, and this is the final bit of all of that gold ore. You can't hear me, can you? It got pretty dusty in here, so let me... Can you hear me now? Okay, I have to get this off. Yeah, this stuff, man, pulverizing rock like that, especially in the garage, not a smart idea, so wear a respirator. I have been leaving the garage door open and pulverizing that stuff. Even when I dump it into the bucket and classifying this stuff, still dusty. All right, so we're done. I've got every last bit of that stuff pulverized. We're going to go ahead and pan out the rest of this stuff, and I'll do that on film and let you guys see the final results as well. So let's get started on that, and let's go to overhead. Man, this has been the longest panning video I've ever done.
here it is. This is all, everything that's 40 plus. Let's just go ahead and start panning this stuff and see what happens here. Probably should have classified this down just a little bit more to keep the bigger stuff off of the little stuff. Quick tap, and I see no gold. You see all that black right there? That's all magnetic. There is a lot of magnetic material in this rock. Oh, looky here. Hey, I found gold. That is the most gold that I have found so far. Let me get them all together. But that's definitely gold. Look at there. Like 5 little bitty pieces, but in comparison to what I've been pulling out of this thing, those things are freaking nuggets. 5 very small pieces of gold. And they're all balled up too, so I'm assuming that's from when I was pulverizing them and they all just balled up from it. I'm actually super psyched about that. Look at that. That is a piece of gold, and it's rolled into a ball. It's a picker. Look at that. Put some water on it so you get a better look at it. But yeah, it's a little roly-poly piece of gold right there. You see it? That's not a bad sized piece of gold either. That will be the biggest piece that I've had to this point. And it will be the biggest piece, period, because, like I said, all I got left is minus 40. That is all of the big stuff and all we've got left. And I'm kind of getting a little psyched because I should, even though it'll be flour gold, I should see some gold in here as well. Now, this stuff is a lot lighter. It's like ice cream. 2 scoops of ice cream. Ugh. This stuff has been totally dark gray. This one's a little bit lighter gray because there wasn't any of those big gray rocks in it. It was all quartz. So this being the first time ever of doing anything like this, I gotta say it was a lot more work than I anticipated. I would do it again. As a matter of fact, I have to do it again because I bought some more from another company. Let's get the pan in this stuff and get it done. This stuff does not pan back very well. And I can sit here and just tap, 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 tap. Eventually, you can start seeing a little bit of yellow. That's as good as I can get it. There's still a bunch of silver over here, but I see gold mixing with it. I don't want to lose that gold, so I'm just going to tap all of it together. Grab my little gold claw doohickey right here, and then I'm just going to squirt every bit of that into this gold claw, and then I'll pan it out from the gold claw. All right, so I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm not going to have you guys sit here and watch me. It's going to take me about an hour. So I'm just going to keep doing this, and once I get done, I'll show you the end results. I'm done. I'm finally done with this stuff. No more rocks to crush. This is actually going to be disappointing to see because of all that work, and this is all of the gold that I've got. Let's dump it in here. But you can see the gold right there. Once it starts piling up, it looks a lot better than it does spread out. I can tell you that. I would be shocked if this was a 1/4 gram. So there it is, folks. If you can see it, that is all of the gold that came out of 25 pounds of material. So I'm going to let this dry. I'm happy that the rock crusher worked. I'm proud of myself for doing that much because I really didn't think that it would work. I didn't think that I could build one where it would actually consistently crush rock. And the fact that I took 25 pounds of that stuff and crushed every bit of it down, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to dry this stuff up. We'll take it upstairs. We'll weigh it. We'll see what kind of value we get out of it, even though we know we're not going to get much of a value. And we'll look at it. Whew. All right, guys, welcome to the room, and it's time to look at this gold and measure it, weigh it, get a value, all that good stuff. Let's flip the camera around so you can actually see what we got out of all of that rock. That is it. Not a lot. Let's get you on the overhead so you can see that. Zero that out, and then we'll weigh it real quick because I predict about 2/10. Not bad. 0.214. That is all the gold we got out of that. 214. Let's get on the gold calculator. We'll get a value on it, and then I'll do the math and see how much this stuff would be per ton. We are on the gold calculator. 0.214 is what we got. We'll call it 24 karat. Gold price is $20.37.39. So we got $14 worth of gold. Paid $75 plus tax and all that. Shipping. I think shipping was 25 bucks. Let's look over here, see what I paid for it. So yeah, it was $75, but it was $109.75 is what I paid for it at the door. So let's see, 1402, 109.75. So that's 12%. Obviously, that's a horrible return on anything that was purchased for that much money. But I'm more curious to see how much gold you would get per ton. So let me see if I can figure this out. So I got 25 pounds. I'm trying to figure this out, guys. Grams. Ooh, I don't think I can figure that out. I'm having a really bad brain fart right now on how to figure this out. Yeah, it's time to stop. Okay, I figured it out. So for a ton of material, you would get 17.12 grams of gold. So that's half an ounce. You would get a half an ounce of gold per metric ton of material, according to that. Now, I don't know if that's good or bad. And you can't base it off of one 25-pound thing because, you know, there's multiple. Some of them might have less, some of them might have more. This might have been the one that just had the absolute worst, you know, or it could have been the one that had really good gold. I don't know. So I guess you would have to do that more often than once. So I'm interested to know how many people has bought it. I looked back on the website and it actually showed that it was 500 plus people have purchased this. So yeah, if anybody else has purchased this, let me know in the comments how much gold you got out of a 25-pound bag of this hard rock gold ore. Interesting stuff though. So yeah, that wraps up this super long video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed all of the process that I did to get all of that stuff down and get all of the gold out. Yeah, I hope you at least enjoyed this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Whew. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like button, share button. If you have any comments, leave them below. Any questions, anybody's gotten this themselves and have done the same thing, let me know in the comments as well. I'd like to know what other people have gotten out of that gold ore. And I will see you next time. Peace and love. See you on my next review. Bye.